Welcome to this new episode from the podcast series in the frame of the ASTRAIOS Project. So my name is Andres Almeida, working for the International Space University. Today's guest is François Caron. So welcome, François.
Hello, Andres.
Thanks for being with us today. Let's just dig into the discussion. Can you maybe share with us a little bit who you are, what do you do for a living, where do you work at, and as well as your company's activities?
Yes, of course. So my name is François Caron. I'm French. I live in Lille, in the north of France, near Belgium, and I am co-founder at GoodForest. GoodForest, it's a software company which the objective is to help protect forest in France and across Europe. Forests are facing critical challenges due to climate change. For example, disease, pests can cause the death of thousands of hectares of forest in a few months only. In France, the statistics are alarming. Tree mortality has increased a lot in the last decade, and carbon sequestration has been reduced by half. And this has huge impacts on forestry management, such as tree loss, timber devaluation, risk management, increasing time, cost, and complexity. And what we developed is a real-time monitoring solution thanks to Earth observation. So the objective is to detect disease and tree mortality in order to prevent the damages across the forests.
That's amazing, an amazing mission. Actually, that's really linked to one of the questions that we're going to talk about, that all the possible applications thanks to these space technologies, specifically Earth observation in your case. But before that, I wanted to rebound on the first question, and maybe can you share with us a little bit more about your career journey? Maybe explain to us how this sector have influenced your career, profession, and also what sparked your interest in Earth observation at the beginning when you started in this field.
Yes, so I come from an engineering background. So Earth observation was a new domain for me, but I have an environmental sensitivity. I am volunteer in climate associations, and I wanted to have a job with a real impact. And before, I worked in the telecommunication sector, and I wanted to transition to a job that could make a difference. And I met my two co-founders who had a deep scientific knowledge in remote sensing and environmental monitoring. So we created GoodForest 1 year ago, and my job is to translate their scientific insights, their expertise in Earth observation, to a solution that could solve our clients' pain.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. And maybe can also you share with us how have you seen Earth observation evolve since you began working in the sector, and maybe what major milestones have stood out to you?
In the forestry sector, Earth observation is not new. It's been discussed for a decade, but the implementation was limited due to complex algorithm and usage challenges. But recently, we have seen significant progress thanks to research laboratories, because research laboratories have made substantial advancements. And there is also AI, because thanks to artificial intelligence, now we can process and combine multiple vegetation indices. So yes, this is why we are starting to see big milestones in the way we can use Earth observation for the forestry sector.
That's super interesting. Thanks a lot. So let's move ahead. For some of your achievements in GoodForest, can you maybe highlight one or two impactful projects where Earth observation played a critical role?
Yeah, so at GoodForest, we develop a forest monitoring solution using Earth observation technologies. We provide continuous near real-time monitoring by analyzing a new satellite image every week. And we focus on the detection on forest health issues like disease or pest infestation. And we alert, we give this information to forest manager, because to explain, a forest manager deals with more than 5,000 hectares spread across an entire department, with some parcels as small as 1 hectare. And the manual monitoring, the field monitoring, is not okay, because the forest manager can't be everywhere every day, so he can't detect every health issue as soon as possible. So our technology enables them to detect problems rapidly and to intervene quickly in order to limit the damages.
Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, that was you answered partially to another question that I had, but we'll come back to that later. Tell me, please, François, during these projects, what challenges did you encounter, and how did you overcome them at GoodForest?
The most significant challenge is the complexity of 3 specific degradation, because different tree species deteriorate uniquely with distinct biological changes. So this means that we cannot use the same algorithm or the same indices for all forest types. If you try to analyze a spruce or a fir or I don't know, a deciduous, it's not the same algorithm. And the complexity increases exponentially in mixed forests, because in a forest you don't have just one kind of tree. So in order to overcome this, we are developing deep learning models that can recognize and adapt to the specific degradation patterns of different tree species, for coniferous forest, for deciduous forest, and for mixed forests.
So tell me, in your industry, in the forestry industry, how Earth observation brings an added value to how things are being done. What's the difference by some of the ways of really manage all of this forestry before these technologies?
In the forestry sector, climate change is dramatically increasing forest risk. So, like as I said, disease, fires, storms, and this brings a shift in professional forest management, because traditionally, forest management was a long-term, multi-annual process, and now it has to be continuous, flexible, and with real-time monitoring. And Earth observation is the key technology enabling these transformations, because it provides the ability to adapt quickly, to monitor changes in real time, and to bring responsive and dynamic decisions, thanks to this near real-time monitoring technology.
So you summarized it really well. I think I agree with you. It's completely complementary with former ways of doing things on Earth, on the ground. So amazing job that you're doing in GoodForest. Let me ask you, François, are there any emerging trends for you in Earth observation? I think you began answering this question when you talked about the impact of AI as well. When you combine it with these technologies, but are you seeing other emerging trends and you believe that they could define the future of the sector?
Yes, I'm convinced that Earth observation will become the primary tool in the future, because in the future, before any field intervention, or before any forest management decisions, professionals will systematically rely on Earth observation data, because it will be an essential step in forest management strategy, in the day-to-day strategy of forest managers.
So tell me, François, in this environment, how do you stay up to date in GoodForest, you and your team, to continue growing in such fast-paced and dynamic domains?
We maintain close relationships with research laboratories in France and in Europe, because we have to stay at the cutting edge of technology, and we also conduct competitive intelligence with. We try to monitor our competitors in order to understand their technological advancement, their directions, how they work with the clients. It's it's a job we do in order to understand the innovation in the scientific part, but also in the market part.
That's great, and I also wanted to have your insight on one thing that may have an impact on lots of businesses and lots of startups, and that thing is the government or public authorities. For you, in your view, how can public authorities help startups or businesses so they can fully leverage these kind of technologies and to drive at the end some impactful innovation?
We have to rely on the public ecosystem. It's a good thing, because what we try to do is to fight climate change. So the public ecosystem is a key to be successful. And yes, the key is to collaborate. Yes, we need to engage all stakeholders, the public ecosystem, but also the data providers, the research laboratories, the startups, and also the end users. This approach is essential, especially in traditional sectors like forestry. And we in France and in Europe, I think the public ecosystem can be helpful by thanks to the financial part, obviously, but also because in the forest sector, like in France, 25% of the forest are owned by the state. So one of our client is the public ecosystem. So they are part of our clients, but they are also supporting us financially.
25% of the forest in France belongs to the government. That's an amazing figure that really illustrates how important is the public support for some startups like yours, like GoodForest. That's an amazing figure. I didn't think that it was that much. So that's really great advice, because actually we are having some entrepreneurs listening to this podcast right now. So I think it's really, I agree with you, really helpful to work with all the stakeholders involved to make your business advance. We are arriving to the end of the interview. So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. First one, what continues to inspire and drive your work in this sector, and also in using Earth observation technologies to answer to these on Earth problems?
The field is exciting because it's constantly evolving. New satellites, new algorithms, new vegetation indices, for example. Right now, we are exploring a very high resolution imaging technologies because that could open up new use cases. So yes, this continuous innovation and the new potential solutions is what drives our passion in at GoodForest.
What advice would you offer to someone that doesn't have necessarily a space background, but that he or she wants to join the space industry, and specifically in a company that uses Earth observation? What advice would you give to them to really follow their dreams?
My advice is to start with passion. Passion. You need to choose a domain that excites you. It could be forest, it could be water management, it could be urban planning or agriculture. First focus on that and then explore how Earth observation can be applied to that field. Because you need to have the curiosity, the true interest in order to be successful in this field.
And that's really funny, because actually that's a pretty common question. Some people that belong to the space industry often focus first on the technology and after on the application. But I think it's more important to us, to everyone, to focus first on your passion, first on the application, and after, how do you answer to that problem in that industry? And
yeah, because you want to solve a problem, you want to solve a pain, and for that you need to understand the job behind that.
That's amazing. And final question, looking ahead, what's your personal vision for the future of Earth observation, and what legacy do you want to leave in this sector through your mission in GoodForest?
It's basic. It's quite clear. We want to democratize Earth observation for forestry. That's all. We want that every forest managers in France and across Europe use Earth observation in order to help protect and manage the forests.
That's a pretty clear, and a great mission. We wish you luck on that. We'll add also the description of what you do. GoodForest, also one link in the description below this podcast, so the audience can go and check a little bit more about your activities in GoodForest. Thank you very much, François, for being here with us today. And for our audience, thank you again for listening to this podcast, and see you in the next one. Thanks, François.
Thank you, Andres.